Welcome to our somewhat tardy meeting of Fresno City Toastmasters today. Apologies, everybody. Thank you for your patience. I'm Chanel West, the current club president. For everybody who may be watching on YouTube land, I'm going to read our mission statement to start us off for our club meeting today. At Fresno City Toastmasters, we provide a supportive and positive learning environment in which to empower our members to develop communication and leadership skills, which results in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Our quick rules for Zoom meetings is if you're joining us on Zoom, please keep yourself muted unless you are speaking in order to avoid any background noise, distractions, or echoes. Also, we use our jazz hands to signal applause. If possible, when joining on Zoom, please try to keep your video on if there's no distractions in the background so that we can see you. And for those of us who are meeting in person, we are able to clap out loud to welcome people to the podium to speak. I wanted to point out a couple of things from our board meeting that we had yesterday regarding the goals for our club. So Toastmasters provides different goals for all of the clubs to reach every year, kind of like an incentive program to try to help keep us on track. And some of those goals revolve around getting our level awards and pathways. So I think it would be good if all of us who are members could try to set a goal for ourselves that by the end of the Toastmasters year, which will be June 30th, to try to at least finish one new level in pathways. So for those of us who are in pathways right now, on level 4 is myself, Joey, and Farron. Level 3 is Mike Wu. Level 2, Heather, Sarah, and Denny. Level 1, Kalani and Forrest. And then Emerson has you got enrolled yesterday, so you're starting on level 1. And then Monica will also needs to get enrolled, and she'll be on level 1. So I'm setting a personal goal for myself to try to finish my path by June 30th, which seems reasonable. And it'll be it's my first path actually, so it will be good to actually finish that and have some sort of achievement. So just to keep that in mind about the leveling up, and we can get some of those goals met for our club. Second thing is we are going to be having our club speech contest on February 15th. We had previously said the 8th, but we've now pushed it back a week because we realized that we have a bit more time before the area contest. So we have 2 weeks now if you would like to join and plan for that. If not, it's just going to be me. So it's not super exciting, but so if anybody else would like to join, that would be great. It doesn't have to be perfect, even if you just want to, just for the sake of participating and understanding how the process goes, if you want to throw something out there, even if it's not the best speech ever, I would encourage you to do that. And I would ask our other board members, is there anything that I'm missing that we were going to discuss today?
No, just the possible looking after the other location, possibly.
Yes, so one of the guests that we had last week, Eric, he gave us a tip for a possible other in-person meeting location that may be slightly cleaner than this one, and may also have air conditioning, which would be really important as we're approaching summertime. Mm-hmm. So Joey's going to be looking into that, and we will keep everybody updated. Okay, very good. Agenda then. Emerson's here to give his speech. Denny, you are evaluating. Sarah's doing table topics. Heather is not here, so I can take over for her as general evaluator.
I can be the timer, Chanel.
Okay, great. Thank you, Sarah. Aaron. And can somebody volunteer to do off counter?
I can do that.
Hi,
Oh, was
Mike Ellis.
Denny, if I'll be able to do that if you would like.
Great.
yeah, that would be great. Thank you. Okay, with those agenda adjustments, I would now like to pass the podium over to our Toastmaster of the day, Mr. Joey Myers.
Thanks, Miss Chanel. So our theme for today is think before you speak and read before you think. Now, many of you have heard me say that I'm more of a fire first, aim second person, but I haven't always been that way. In the beginning, I was a little bit more gun shy, and I think that's one of the reasons, underlying reasons why I joined Toastmasters, was being a little bit gun shy of what I was going to say. But I would say probably the second part of that is read before you think is probably a little bit more important than think before you speak, because you have to have something of substance, knowledge, wisdom, that could be from experience, that could be from study, research, whatever, to back up whatever it is that you're going to say, especially if what you're going to say is a fire first, aim second type thing. And having the confidence to, or not even the confidence, having the be able to swallow your ego if you're wrong. You got to be okay with being wrong. And I think that's why we're here at Toastmasters, is be able to share our stories and things like that, because we could change lives by doing that. And by us being fearful of sharing, I think that really takes away from, nobody gets to hear our message. Nobody gets to learn from it. Nobody gets to know that there's somebody else out there like them going through the same thing or feeling the same way. So I like that statement. I feel like sometimes it's appropriate. One part of that piece is appropriate, and other times the other piece is appropriate. But I feel like you got to have the wisdom. You got to read, you got to listen to books. You got to be able to take in information in order to share what you have to say, or have a confidence in sharing. So that's what I have to say on the theme. And with that, I will pass the podium over to Ms. Chanel West, who's our general evaluator of the day.
Thank you. I'm also the grammarian, so I'm going to just jump right into that and introduce our word of the day. Our word of the day is bookworm. I put the word in the chat for all of you on Zoom. It's pretty easy, not too complicated. A bookworm is somebody who loves to read or is a voracious reader, somebody who reads often. So try to work that word into what you are saying, and I will be listening for it. And next, I would like to call up Mike to explain the all counter rule for today.
Thank you, Chanel, for the introduction. My name is Michael Ellis. My role today here at Toastmasters will be counting your ahs, ums, or any other crutch words. So I'll be diligently listening. I won't be in my books like a bookworm, but I will be listening with my ears. So I look forward to listening to everyone this afternoon. Have a great meeting.
Thank you, Mike. And next, I would like to introduce Farron, who is our timer for today.
Thank you, Chanel. I will be timing the speech by Emerson. It says Icebreaker, which is a 4 to 6 minute speech. At 4 minutes, I will have a green screen behind me. At 5 minutes, yellow screen, and at 6 minutes, red screen to wrap it up. I'll also time the table topics, which are 1 to 2 minutes. So at 1 minute, we will get a green screen, 1.5 minutes yellow, and 2 minutes red. I'll give you a report at the end of the meeting.
Thank you, Farron. And then finally, I would like to introduce Joey Myers, who is our Zoom master for today.
Thank you, Miss Chanel. I probably should have done that earlier, huh? So I will be, well, I've already made sure that the meeting's being recorded. So we got that going. And then I will try to get the viewership to show whoever is speaking. So when Emerson gives his speech, we'll do that. And then when we have our evaluators, I think Denny for Emerson, then we'll see if we can do a dual pane where we'll have Emerson and Denny on the scene. And then table topics, I like to just have it all gridded out so that you can see everybody's faces and things like that. It's a little tough when you're talking into the camera and you can't see the reactions of the people during the table topics. So that's how I'll do that. So that is the Zoom Master.
Thank you, Joey, and I will pass it right back to you to introduce our speaker for today.
Thank you, Chanel. I didn't get a little blurb from Emerson, but what I do know about Emerson is that he isn't a stranger to Toastmasters. He's been in a Toastmasters group before with Michael Wu, and I mean, he's fairly new to our club, but has been with Toastmasters. How many years, Emerson, would you say? I mean, you had a little break in there, but how many years?
About 3 years.
About 3 years.
Yeah.
Yep. So he'll be given his icebreaker speech for the second time, I would think, because the first time was with Michael Wu's group. And I'm not sure what the title is. I'm sure he'll do that with us, but we always look forward to the icebreaker speeches because then we get to learn a lot about our members. And with that, we will call up Mr. Emerson to give his icebreaker speech. Mr. Emerson, come on up.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, hello, Toastmasters. I thank you for this opportunity to give my icebreaker. I liken the icebreaker to speed dating back in college, where you had about 5 minutes to talk about yourself before the girl moved on to the next person. So I guess they have Christian Mingle now, so it's been replaced. But so I'm going to begin by telling you a little bit about where I came from, where I'm at now, and where I hope to go in the future. So I think I can encompass that task by doing it in that format. So in terms of where I came from Guatemala. My family immigrated here in 1978, and I was raised by my grandmother, who was more like my mother, who from a young age instilled in me important values, such as to believe in God, to have faith in God, number one. She also taught me to be a hard worker and a smart worker, and to take advantage of all educational opportunities as they come. And as simple as that sounds, if you follow those, it's pretty good advice. As I look back at my young years, I probably accomplished about 70% of those in my young years. I started off, I had a good start. I went to Manchester Gate, then I went to Computech, and then I graduated from Edison. I soon went on to college. I went to UC Davis, and I got my bachelor's there. Came back to Fresno. I got my master's in business administration here at Fresno State. And currently I'm working on passing the 4 exams for the CPA license. So in terms of education, I took her up on that. Hard work and smart. I have my own company. I do human resources. I have a consulting firm here in town, and I hope to incorporate the accounting side of it once I get licensed. But which brings me to my current time. Right now, it reminds me of a scene in Jerry Maguire where he says, "I'm 35 and I just now began to live." Well, he had an epiphany about his industry at 35. I had an epiphany at 35 that was more of a spiritual nature. Even though I believed in God all my life, I had not made him, and when I say him, I say Jesus, the Lord of my life. And it was not until I turned 35 that I shifted my priorities. It was really a dramatic change because I came from a party scene and I became a different person. It was night and day. And the people that know me all my life would agree to that. And so I learned to set my priorities straight. First, putting Christ first, then putting my wife second, putting my family third, putting my health fourth, and then lastly, my company. And it keeps me from being a workaholic, which is always a good thing. And so as I look back at my life and where I'm at now, I think I'm in a good place, which leads me to Toastmasters. Why am I here and how I see my future? Well, that's a long story in terms of what I hope to do in the future. But as it pertains to Toastmasters, a major goal for me is to be able to feel comfortable in my own skin, regardless of my audience. Toastmasters has always been a very warm environment. It's, you guys are very kind. I felt the warmness from day one. But what about the audiences that are not as friendly? And I do get those. And I mentioned to you that I am now putting the Lord first. And so when I do ministry, sometimes you get the hostile audience. I want to be able to be comfortable in my own skin at all times, to be able to show love and patience with people that perhaps don't show me love or patience. And so that only comes from practice, practice in front of ears that will hear what you say and then provide feedback. So Toastmasters is that's one of the reasons Toastmasters is so important to me. Secondly, I also want to become a better listener. That's so important, to listen to what you all have to say. Because let me tell you, they say that a smart person learns from his own mistakes, but a wise person learns from others' mistakes. There's a lot more material out there to learn from when you are a good listener and you're listening to what people say. And then finally, I want to become a better leader. I want to be able to lead by example, to give back more than I receive, to give as much love as possible, because when you give love, you get it back. And so I think that I'm in a good place to gain from all of you and to contribute as much as I can. Madam Toastmaster?
Thank you, Emerson. Great speech. Always good, like I said, to learn how our members are, where they've come from, and where they see themselves going. And I think a lot of those things, those characteristics that you just discussed, I think a lot of us can relate to for sure. So thank you for sharing, Emerson. With that, since we don't have a second speech today, we're going to bring up our table topics master, who is Miss Sarah Dawson.
Thank you, Joey. That's awesome. The table topics is probably, yeah, table topics is probably one of my favorite things to do, coming up with interesting and fun questions for everybody to answer. We're going to do a little bit different today. For those of you who don't know table topics, it's a time to speak extemporaneously, where you get a question and then have to respond right away rather than having the prepared speech. Anybody's welcome to participate. And so today we're going to do it a little bit different. I have a dice here and I have 6 different questions. Whoever would like to go, I'll shake it until you tell me to release it, and then I'll release it, and then whatever number comes up, then that's the question you get to answer. Who would like to go first? Go, Chanel. All right.
I actually have a question. Are we doing repeat questions, like if you roll the number 2 twice in a row?
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. Yes. Mhm.
Snake eyes.
Right. Yeah, good question. I thought you were volunteering to go first.
I will. I'll go first.
All right. Yay, Chanel. All right. Tell me when to release it.
Release.
You get a 5. All right. Let me fill up my questions real quick. So number 5 is, what is the first thing you think of when you hear the number 5? Why do you think that comes to mind?
When I hear the number 5, I actually think of children, and 2 children in particular who I used to work with at Rescue the Children. So Miss Denny knows them also. They were 2 5-year-old twin boys. One of them had autism, and they were just very cute, very sweet, and very intelligent boys. And I think fondly of my time with them, spending time with them, helping with their homework, playing outside. We had this kinetic sand, for those of you who are familiar with it. It's a favorite of young kids and older kids, and sometimes adults too. It's very fun to play with, I will say. And we would play with that. There was like a month period where they wanted to play with it every day. Every day was the kinetic sand. But that's who popped into my mind when I heard the number 5, is these 2 very cute, very sweet boys.
That's
Thank you.
awesome. Yay. Thank you, Chanel. That was really awesome. Great job. 5-year-old twins. I'm a twin, so they can get a little crazy. I admire you for doing that. All right, who would like to go next? Roll the dice. Yay, Denny. All right, let me know when to release.
Go.
You get a 3. Number 3 is, tell us a time you thought before you spoke and it turned out well.
Having a 14-year-old granddaughter at home makes me think a lot. And I'm torn between my initial urge is to occasionally chastise, but what I know I have to do is motivate and encourage. And there's some sort of a balance in there. So what we did on Friday, she later called one of the very top 5 days in her life. And now I have the key to Megan, which is cats. And we went to Cat House on the Kings. For those of you that don't know, it's a rescue for cats, and it's a lady moved out of her lovely estate on the river into her garage and left the house and the acreage to the cats. And it then turned into a rescue and adoption, and it's developed since then. However, it's quite an experience to walk onto a property where there are 700 or 800 cats. And Megan was thrilled to just be in the presence of all these cats. So it was a lot of fun, and we spent a couple of hours there. And I came home, she said, that was one of my best days ever. And I went, that was thinking before I spoke, and it was successful.
Thank you, Debbie. Yay. That was awesome. And it ties in a lot with what Emerson was talking about, like being able to listen and how you were able to increase that relationship so much more just because you listened and had to hear what she had to say. That's amazing. Thanks for sharing that. Who would like to go next?
I'll go, Sarah.
All right.
And stop.
6. Number
Ah,
6. Sometimes the number 6 gets a bad rap. Do you think there is any validity to this? Why or why not? You may begin.
what was the last part you said there, Sarah?
Oh,
Chanel
sometimes the number 6 gets a bad rap. Do you think there is a validity to this? Why or why not?
Good question. This can go into, you talk about numerology, you can talk about superstition. And I don't think 6 by itself is a bad thing, but when you add 3 of them together, things get a little bit dicey. But the number 6, so I played baseball my whole life, and it's funny how there really isn't a 6 except for a 6th inning, which the 6th inning in a 9-inning game, which is a full game. If you watch a baseball game on TV, is the full game is 9 innings. So in the 6th inning,
Is that us or Joey?
I think it's just Joey, because everybody else is fine.
Okay.
I think it might be Joey.
6 is like the end of that part. But in baseball, you have the count. So 3-2 count is considered a full count. So you have 3 balls and you have 2 strikes. So you have 1 more strike and 1 more ball until you either walk or you strike out. So you have 2 extra pitches. But again, 3 and 2 is 5. We stop right before 6. And usually the 6th one is the actual outcome itself, right? It could be the 3rd strike, which now we got 3 and 3, or we have the 4th ball and we have 2 strikes and we got 4 and 2. So you got 6 happening there as well. So it's interesting when you start to think about it in a way where people probably think you're a conspiracy theorist. Like, no, that's just a coincidence. I think nature there was a podcast I listened to a while back, and it was a guy who was a mathematician, and he talked about numbers, numerology, and how numbers find themselves in nature. And it could be the number of leaves on a flower. It could be the number of the 4-leaf, 5-leaf, 6-leaf clover, those kind of things. It's interesting how some of these numbers show themselves in different ways. So to me, it's a mystery, the number 6. And that's my take.
Thank you. Awesome.
Emerson would like to go.
Oh, great. All right, Emerson, let me know.
Let me go with number 2.
Oh, all right, number 2 is, what do you read? What do you read that helps inform your thinking?
Oh, that's a good one. Well, I can't say I'm a bookworm. I would say I'm more of a documentary watcher, but I still read a little bit. I need to read more. But in terms of reading, I like to read history because it's so important to understand where we came from. And we can't take for granted that just because we live in this time, that we will know everything that has transpired before us. It does not come through osmosis. We have to go and seek knowledge, and history is very important because it tells us where we came from. And I think that the world would be a better place if people read more of history, because it seems like every other generation, they make the same mistakes. And so I think that if we had some sort of institutional memory, that we can just somehow have a gene that would remind us of everything that our ancestors learned, humans will be in a better place. But unfortunately, we don't have that gene. So the next best thing are books and documentaries. So I appreciate that. We were talking about numbers, and I just wanted to throw this anecdote out there about whether mathematics was invented or was it discovered. And I think that it was discovered because as Joey was talking about, there's patterns in nature, like Fibonacci's constant, a number, like pi, like the uncertainty principle. These things were not invented. Somebody tripped over them on the chalkboard. And so that to me reaffirms my faith in God, because he would be the ultimate mathematician. Madam Toastmaster?
Yay. Good. Thank you, Emerson. That was awesome. I think we have time for at least one more. Farron or Mike, do either one of you guys want to go?
Oh, if Mike doesn't want to.
All right. All right.
I'll go. Farron, sorry, I couldn't find
Oh, go ahead.
the mute
Go ahead.
button.
All
I
right,
mean,
Mike.
I'm totally gonna cut you off, Farron. I'm just gonna go.
All right. Mike, you ready to tell me when to stop?
Go for it.
Number 6 again. Or do you can also pick a different number if you'd rather.
Yeah, I'll do number 1.
Number 1, tell us a time you spoke up and said something before you thought about it. So the opposite of what Denny got. So tell us a time when you spoke up and said something before you thought about it.
It's almost every day of my life.
That's up my alley. Fire first, aim second, Mike.
Yeah, I'm like a shotgun. I just spread and hope something sticks well. Well, some examples. I'll give an example of recently. We have some friends that we have always kept in touch with. They're my wife's friends through nursing school. And so they recently bought a new home in which they're excited about. And we just recently have another baby to add to their family. So they're also excited about that. So he was telling me about a job and that he wants done to his house. And I totally, before I thought about my duties, my responsibilities, I agreed to this job. And I haven't taken on a job this big in quite a long time. And since 2020, logistics has changed quite a bit. And so I find myself waiting, 20 odd days for doors that used to take 10 days, and finding myself, out of excuses at this time, and just trying to be as um, transparent as I can. But the more time I wait, the more things change. And so I thought to myself, waking up this morning, I'm about 2 weeks behind in every project that I'm doing, and this one is no exception. And so I thought to myself, this is, there's a good reason why a couple years ago you only decided to do, smaller jobs like closets and stuff like that. So I totally use this job as it's a huge blessing to me and my family. So I'm not complaining about it by any means, but this is certainly a good example of me kind of being excited about something and knowing that I could do it, but not really taking the time to make a good plan and telling them an accurate outcome. So
Thank you, Mike. Thank you for sharing, Mike. I really appreciate that. I think that wraps up our time of table
We could,
talk.
we could do Farron, because we got
good.
we got only
All
one
right.
evaluation. Yeah, look, she got the
Great.
palm tree and the beach in the background. Got to let her go.
All right, I'll go. What number do we have left? I think 4.
Four.
Now it's done?
Yeah, you want to just take 4?
Yeah, we'll just do that.
All right. Your question is, if you had 4 hours left to live, what would you do?
Yikes. If I had 4 hours left to live, I would spend it with the people that are closest to me and use that time to say goodbyes, but also do things that we didn't get to do before. One is skydiving. I would force my kids to go skydiving with me and my boyfriend too, for that matter. I would spend the time out in nature. I was in the hospital with Isaac from Wednesday through Saturday, and because his dad had COVID, he couldn't switch out with me like we normally do when he's in the hospital. And I was feeling like a prisoner, just trapped in the hospital for 5 days. And it made me really appreciate being able to go outside and be in nature. And that's how I would spend my last 4 hours, is just being outdoors and enjoying myself and enjoying the people around me.
Thank you, Farron. I think I would like your last 4 hours. That sounds pretty amazing to me. That's great. Well, thank you. I'm glad you got to share. That was a fun one. And then I will turn it back over to Chanel, who is our general evaluator.
Thank you, Sarah. I'm going to call up Denny to provide us, Emerson, with an evaluation of his speech.
Farron, did you just say that you would push your kids out of an airplane in your last 4 hours?
I would most definitely do that so they could remember the moment forever.
They'll remember you too. Okay. Emerson, thank you for that speech. You have we knew when you came to the club already, it's very obvious that you have a good talent for speaking and that you've already got quite a bit of practice under your belt. I wrote down some notes as you were speaking, and most of them are all the strengths that you have that I noted. There are, you're a very confident speaker. I like that. And I've always noticed that about you right away. In your speech, you're very organized. You use similes. Your diction is very good. Good hand movements, vocal variety. The quality of your voice is very nice to listen to. You're not too loud or too soft. It makes me want to keep listening to you, which is nice. No ums or ahs. You have good timing, and in your speaking, you're very deliberate. in pronouncing your words and making points, which is very nice. I'm really glad you're a member of our club because we'll all learn things from you that are valuable in speaking. In your icebreaker, you did a great job of telling us a lot of information about yourself, how you grew up, your education, your business, your goals, why you're here in Toastmasters. And honestly, I'm going to say the only thing that I really look forward to improving in your speech is when you're able to take off the mask. I think that will make a big difference just in coming across, because I miss seeing your smile. Not your fault at all, but I'll look forward to that.
Yeah.
And you've given us your goals for what you want to get out of Toastmasters, which is great. And we'll keep those in mind as we go forward with your speeches so that you can focus on those things, and in evaluating, we can focus on those things so that those are stronger, so that those become stronger for you. So thank you for your speech, Emerson. You did a great job, and we appreciate listening to all the information about you and really getting to know you better. Welcome to our club.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny. My takeaway from Emerson's speech is that he's here to learn from all of our mistakes, which is very, I know that we have plenty of them.
Lots to learn.
Okay, with that, we will continue with our evaluation team. Firstly, I would like to call up Farron to give us our timer.
Thank you, Chanel. As far as the meeting goes, we did start a little bit late, but we will end on time, it looks like, which is awesome because then I get to go back to bookworm status and read the latest that was lent to me by my yoga teacher. You can't even see it because of my background, but it's called the Nature Fix. As far as time goes for everyone else, Emerson, your speech was 4 minutes and 45 seconds, perfect for your icebreaker. Everyone hit the mark in table topics. Chanel, you were at 112, Benny 141, Joey 155, Emerson 134, Mike, you just went slightly over at 209, and myself, it was 1 minute and 7 seconds. Mike, I also kept track of your ahs and ums because you are the ah counter, so I'll just give you that part right now. You had 12 ums, 11 uhs, 3 so's, 2 and so's, and 3 you knows. And as far as the evaluation, Benny, you came in at a perfect 2 minutes and 45 seconds. And that's all.
Thank you, Farron. Next, Mike, would you please give us our ah counter report?
Yes, Chantel, thank you again. Emerson, it was great to hear about you and your icebreaker speech. I think you did a wonderful job. I agree with Denny. You did not have any I's or O's. If I were to be picky, I guess in the beginning there was a I guess, which I think, I don't know. It was surprising me because I don't think you would guess about anything. And so other than that, even on your excuse me, your table topic, you also did a good job with, I did not catch any I's or O's and ums. I think I did that for everyone in my 2 minutes and 9 seconds. So Denny, there was one but I got from you. Joey did a great job. Chantel did a great job. Farron. It was very interesting to hear about your last 4 hours. I like how you jam-packed it full of things to do. And Joy, I didn't have anything for you, but I covered that as well. Denny, you also did, yeah, I covered you as well, Denny. And that's my report.
Thank you, Mike. Next, I will give our Grammarian Report I heard 3 of you use it, not me. Mike, you used it right away in your Counter introduction. Emerson used it in his table topic, and Farron snuck it in there at the end. Joey, did you use it?
I did not. I forgot.
I thought maybe I missed it because
No.
you always say it. So
I know. I forgot.
we're gonna start upping the ante here. So those of us who don't use it are gonna owe like $10 every meeting. That would help me. I think that would help me a lot personally.
We only do 10 cents in this club.
But if Chanel wants to give $10, she can give $10.
The treasure is not going to stop me. Okay, that is our evaluation. Good meeting today, everybody. Emerson, I'm super glad that we finally got to hear a speech from you and learn a little bit more about you.
Thank you.
I would like to give a virtual sticker to Mike for hopping on and taking over Counter at the last minute. Thank you. And also to Farron for hopping on and taking over Timer.
Thanks for that background too.
Yeah, Stan for the great background. Farron has a good unfortunately, my computer cannot do Zoom backgrounds for whatever reason. I think it's too old. It's not compatible. Disappointing, but all right. So I think that is everything then. Again, 2 weeks is our speech contest. Next week we'll be having regular meeting as usual. Is there any other announcements?
Nope.
Good, okay. Oh, I do know one thing that I've been meaning to bring up and keep forgetting, but Denny, did you ever get paid for this podium that we are using? You did not.
Send me the invoice, Denny.
Yes.
Not invoice, but you know what I mean. Just tell me what you need and then I'll PayPal you.
Yeah, thank you, Joey. Let's do it this week. It's been many months now and I kept forgetting, so apologies for that. Okay, with that then, I will adjourn the meeting. Have a great week, everybody.
Great week, everyone.
I
Oh, wait. Agenda.
Oh, I knew I was forgetting.
Wait a minute.
Okay. Does anybody want to sign up to speak? We don't have anybody on the calendar for the next few weeks.
I'll speak.
You'll speak again. Okay. You want to do 2 weeks is our speech contest. So do you want to do it? You want to do another one next week or wait 3 weeks?
I'll wait 3 weeks.
Do 3 weeks. Okay. So that'll be the 22nd. Okay. That's good.
Maybe, yeah, 3 weeks is fine. Yeah, that'll be perfect.
Okay. All right, others, remember we got those level ups that we want to meet for our club.
I can speak next week, Chanel.
Okay, cool. Okay, and I'm going to be speaking during the speech contest. All right, Toastmaster for next week.
I'll do it, Sarah.
Okay, Sarah. Emerson, you said you won't be here.
Actually, I will be. I will. I just won't be able to give a speech.
Oh, okay.
I'll be busy in the weekend to prepare for it, so I'll be present though.
Okay.
I just thought of that. It's not going to be Tuesday. I'll be gone.
Okay. Which role would you like to take on? You want to do table topics?
I'll be table topics. Yeah.
Okay.
That'll be fun.
Great. Okay, Jenny, what do you want to do? Are you going to be here?
You can put me in wherever you need me. General Evaluator. Is that next?
Sure. Yeah, just pick something.
Okay, General Evaluator.
I don't know what you guys want to do.
I can evaluate Farron's speech.
Okay, awesome. Okay, Mike,
You can put me as Zoom too if you want.
Yeah, thank you.
Just fill in that
You
spot.
know, I can do a timer or all counter again.
Okay, you want to do the timer?
Yeah, I can do the timer. That'd be great.
Okay. I will put myself down for Toastmaster then. Okay, that ought to do it.
Did Sarah say she was going to do Toastmaster?
Oh, did she already say that? Oh, yeah, she already did say that. What are we
Okay.
missing?
I think there's all counter left.
Grammarian.
Grammarian.
Okay, I'll do all counter then. Thank you for keeping me straight. All right. Thanks, guys. I adjourn the meeting then.
All right. See everybody. Good week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.